Hi, I'm Breandax,
And I'm T.
and we're going to have a blast from the past. That is what
That is what we're gonna
I've been
do.
told to say.
Yep, right on cue, right on script. Have you heard of Rebecca Black
Mm.
recently?
Recently,
Recently.
not since it was Friday.
Well,
No.
our darling of the 2010s, I want to say,
Yeah, that tracks. That
um,
makes sense.
is is in the limelight, is in the conversation
Okay.
with a new album. I think it's this year. After some releases in the past couple of years that kind of showed a new angle of her to the world. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is in my maturation down the pop world, I wasn't a pop listener in my teens, but I've since become more of a pop listener. I've been going down the kind of more indie, abrasive, kind of hyperpop angle. And this is a name that's come up recently, and it's hard to miss in this little corner of the world. And I thought, since we're both of that age where we would have been growing up, nearing the end of our growing up, around when Miss Rebecca Black was coming up and appearing in the public eye.
That's very kind. I was full grown.
Yeah,
I was.
I wanted to be kind there, but there's only so much you
There's
can
nothing
do.
wrong with being older.
Rebecca Black has put out a new album, and I've heard some buzz around it. I've actually probably run into a couple of these tracks in the wild. I don't
Mhm.
remember them super well, so it's a bit of a fresh listen, but I liked what I heard.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
keen.
All right, so let's kick it off with the titular track. This album is called Salvation, and track one is also called Salvation. You ready to get saved?
Yeah. Yes.
Dark, dark parking lot, touch me with the headlights. I love being disgusting to you, it don't mean nothing. I don't need you to save me. I'm everything I need and on my own. I should save myself. I love being disgusting to you, it don't mean nothing. I already saved myself. I don't need you to save me. Salvation.
Okay, so that was Salvation, title track of
Salvation.
Salvation.
I know. And you know what? I was not expecting healing to happen to come out of that song. I had no idea what kind of a genre this was going to be. I'm like, okay, it's Friday. And that was, and there was a lot of stuff surrounding, like outside of Rebecca Black and, the context that like produced that song. I'm like, okay, that was then. It was a situation. Who knows what it's going to be like now, where she's at as an artist. I'm like, oh damn. Okay, hello, 2025.
Oh, yeah.
That
So modern
composition.
sounding.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, it's a bop.
It's a bop. Not only is it a bop, I felt it was a bit anthemic, like especially the chorus part.
Oh, no. Chorus, verse one. I'm like, oh, we're getting a queer anthem? I mean, I have no idea what Rebecca's been up to. I don't know who she is as a person now, but I'm like, oh, I wasn't, okay, hello.
So
Right?
Rebecca is now, or I guess always has been, but is now showing us that she is an LGBTQ icon.
She's a member of the community.
Welcome, Rebecca. I'm really liking this. I'm wearing it as a badge of honor, and this is me. It's going in my damn music, unabashedly.
Rebecca being a female singer, and then she's talking about another person in her song and referred to as a she, like, oh, it's a, But I think if you know some of like about like queer culture, especially around ostracization by conservative communities or religious communities, or the first verse, I'm like, wait, is she talking about cruising? Is this a cruising reference? Dark parking lot. Classic, right? You hook up in your car because you can't go to anyone's house.
It is known to be done. It is known.
But then a bit of a non-play. She likes to leave the door unlocked. I'm like, is this a random person? Damn. Again, I'm like, because I had
Get
no
it, Rebecca.
expectations. I was just like,
Get it.
oh, hello. Okay. Yeah. And what I really liked was, again, I'm a sucker for symbolism. And wordplay, that's my kink, wordplay. In the last line of the first verse, you think I'm on fire, but the fire feels like paradise. But this comes after a few lines about being disgusting and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, there's the conservative values. You see this lifestyle being, disgusting or whatever. Fire, is that a reference to hell? Like you think I'm going to hell, but this is actually, yeah, but this fire feels like paradise. I'm like, oh, whack. I like it.
This is her form of salvation. She don't need no tax exempt body. What I also picked up on as well is there's a very I can save myself. I don't need your pity energy in this song. What that reminds me of is I don't know if you remember this. Friday came out. The internet reacted to Friday. We had a Katy Perry moment where they got together for last Friday night, and Rebecca Black was in the music video for that.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
wonder if this was a Katie, I don't need you to save me. I don't need the little pity inclusion, but like 10, 15 years down the track. That's what I was instantly reminded of. Maybe not that specific moment, but that kind of thing. We're like, oh, poor you. You had a little embarrassing moment on the internet. Let's help you out. And now she's like,
Ah.
no, I'm standing on my own.
The chorus for me was like, okay, well, who are we talking about? Is she talking to the other woman that's in this song, right? The person who she's hooking up with in the car? Like, I don't need you to save me. Like, I save myself. Like, the whole princess construct. Is she talking to the people who think she's disgusting, being like, oh, you're gonna hell? Like, no, I don't need you to pray for me. I don't need you to like save me or whatever. This is my truth. This is my reality. I don't need salvation. I'm like, I don't know which one she's referring to. Is
She
it the
could even
romantic
just
interest
be
or the
sending it
latter?
out to the world, just in general. Like,
Really make it okay?
It's
May-
not
or
you,
maybe
it's
she's
not
making
you, it's
maybe it is
y'all.
a meta statement on her relationship with the internet and her career as an artist. Maybe that is another read as well.
Potentially. Well, perhaps we'll learn a little bit more as we get into track 2, Trust. Trust, all caps, exclamation point. Let's do it.
I could spend it out for you. Every night you're coming home. I get in on you, get your hand up.
Delay onset in the beat.
Get me going like gaga. We can break it to the floor. This is what you came here for. I love your heart in my head. Get me going like gaga. Trust me, baby. I get in on you.
Trust.
In Rebecca Black,
I'm trusting.
we trust.
Can we talk about that beat? That hit so hard.
It's more than a bop. It's a beat.
Oh yeah, it is a beat, and I loved how we went. This was when it dropped. We went bang, like we didn't go right into it on the start of the measure. We paused for a second and then we slammed in.
Like, I mean, I don't know who's producing this or like what the people behind it, but
Wouldn't
I'm
be
just like,
surprised if
they
A.G. Cook
are-
wasn't involved. Charlie's main collaborator.
I was thinking that in the last track. It reminded me of I'm so bad with song names. The one where it's the collab with Billie Eilish.
It was like a variation on one of the songs that she did in Brat. It
I
was
got
on
a
the
bad
remix one.
butt in my underwear. That one and that spoken word. I'm just like, oh, it was channeling the same. I mean, like, there's a gazillion bitch tracks out there, but like Salvation it had a twang, a Rebecca Black twang to it, not a country twang to it. Anyway, Trust. Yeah, I was like that the rest and then the drop and things like that. I'm like, this structure is so perfectly geared towards being on the charts. I can so see it charting, being played on your FM radio stations.
At the gay club, for
And
sure.
the clubs, and you can see all of them out having, they'll all know every single lyric, and like, if you know that there's going to be, it's a pause and then you sing it, and that's kind of like, it's a badge of like, I know the culture. Oh, so good.
And even one level deeper, I'm not missing that guitar in there, Rebecca. I saw what you did. I
You
just
mean
like
it wasn't just synth?
no. I love the little da-na-na-na, like use of the guitar in the kind of beat melody.
I was not sure. I feel like there's two different ways it could be read. And I love it because one is so hot and sexy and the other one is potentially so wholesome. And the fact that it could be either is sending me. So clearly from the production, from the way that the vocals are being sung, very seductive, very sexy, very hot and sweaty, which we love. Potentially like with trust and like you being in control, put me in position. I'm like, is this a kink reference or stay with me here? Every night you're coming home, I'll be laid out for you. You can feel free to control. A cup of devotion. You've got my permission. Braid your secrets in my hair. I'm like, is this a song about like, you don't need to play around? Like, it's almost like maybe touching on monogamy.
Yeah, I liked the line, "Is my body mine or yours?" It was part of that like playful kind of kink exploration
Yeah,
kind of
that is very
bit.
kink code.
I also like took one step back and was like, this is obviously talking about, or if we take my interpretation, talking very much about kink. But also is this commentary on what the world does to someone when they cast judgment on like a video or a music video, perhaps on a Friday, and then kind of take that and sensationalize it and like regurgitate it.
It's another meta statement about a relationship with the internet. Is that what you're saying?
The Shakespeare of our times is what I'm saying. No, like all exaggeration aside, I thought that was a fun track, and I really liked Rebecca Black taking this kind of delivery and this kind of tone. All right, shall we move on to number 3, Sugar Water Cyanide?
Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm in the back of the club, bass go ba-rum, ba-bum. I'm in the back of the club, bass go ba-rum, ba-bum. Dancing in your avid way.
Is a classical guitar in there?
Sugar cane. I'm in the back of the club, bass go ba-rum, ba-bum. Same face all night, hanging on the borderline. I'm in the back of the club, bass go ba-rum, ba-bum. Sugar water cyanide. Hit, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it.
This gave me, I'm just like, wow, we are teleporting to so many different parts of the pop sphere, I feel. This gave me very like Japanese, kawaii, K-pop kind of vibes. The Japanese reference, I think, especially like in the chorus type things, and it's very cutesy, it's very bubblegum, you know, is what made me think of that. But then when it switched into I think it's like the verses with those like soft, breathy lyrics and things like that. To me, felt like very K-pop girl group solo, like breakout solo career type thing that they would do, where it's and you get the hyper, not hyper pop, you get like the super pop production with this like then vocals coming through.
Mhm. Well, it's interesting you mentioned hyperpop, but I got all of that as well. But the part where I'm starting to think I'm getting hyperpop, I'm getting Charlie, is the juxtaposition of that with the spoken word, like hard hitting, like really almost like primal beat, like getting those two in the same song and getting
Yeah.
that hard hitting beat overlaid with like a very bubbly production. That I've seen in artists like Charlie. I've seen that in artists like Hannah Diamond. Hyperpop heads will know. We're getting, in my opinion, another club banger potentially, but a variation on a club banger. It's not the same as Trust, but it will be on the same playlist somewhere.
I can see so many parts of this. I can't remember who I watched say this in an interview where, if you're smart, you'll build in parts into your song which are very, would make great sounds on TikTok for people to do a dance or a reaction or, whatever it might be. And I feel like there are so many parts of the song where you could clip it, right? The really hard hitting, like pop it, pop it, beat it, that part there, like the really punchy beat, and I could see like, I don't know, a dance coming out of that,
The Parumpa Pum beat
the
bit as
pom-pom
well.
part of that as well. Just even a lot of the imagery. I'm like, I think there's so much imagery there about like being really addicted to something and things that are addictive. Sugar, water, cyanide. I don't know. It's like you're addictive, but you're also poisonous for me.
Like most addictions tend to be.
Coffee was mentioned. Acid was mentioned. Yeah, just being really hooked on it, and it's just a bit of a dirty track.
I think we're
Dirty
getting
beat.
more and more insights into Rebecca Black's taste in writing, and she's a dirty writer occasionally, and this is even more making me think that the meaning of trust was that kind of kink exploration kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had fun with that one.
yeah, super fun.
Okay, well, we're on to number 4, American Doll. Shout out to Barbie if you're listening.
Act right, smile, big spotlight. Did you like me better then? Do you wanna hate me now? So take your compliments and spit 'em out. American doll, confusing the men.
Confusing the men.
Get what you pay on video. So feminine, so touchable. American doll, American doll.
All right, American Doll. We're taking that good girl image and we are kicking it around, subverting expectations, confusing the men.
I would further that one step more, and it's not subverting the good girl image, it's subverting the image of women that society, mainly men, have structured about what they want a good girl to be, and be like, nah, that's not actually what an American doll is.
I also get a little bit of the nod to the kind of lesbian or bi little insinuation that we got earlier in the album, confusing the men. The men are like, oh, you look so hot or whatever, and then she's like, no, I'm not doing this for you.
Yeah.
But you, Miss Leather Jeans, please get on the stage.
And they've gone up like, can I buy you a drink? Kind of like, hey, pretty face, you're so pretty. I don't know. I'm not
Pretty
Australian.
face.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to pick up chicks. It's like, what? I'm so confused. She doesn't want my money. She's not here for like fame or clout or friends or all of that kind of stuff. Confusing the men.
I could see that.
But you're
as
a
well.
woman. Why don't you want these things?
Blades in the Honey as well, like kind
like
of setting the trap, and then I also really liked the line, learn how to love from the internet. I grew up in an internet age. I'm a modern artist. I have certain views and experiences in the world. I learned to love on the internet.
So it's another meta statement on her life and her relationship with the people on the internet?
Could be. Another bop as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it's just album of she just should have called it
A collection
she
of
should
bobs.
just have a collection of bobs.
Signed
Bobs.
Rebecca Black.
Bobs.
Bobs.
Who's Bob?
Cool. Well, shall we progress on
Mm-hmm.
to Tears in My Pocket? I don't know how you do that. You must have a watertight pocket, I guess, but let's hear about it.
There's something wrong with me, pathologically, maybe. Maybe you can keep your tears in my pocket. You can keep your tears in my pocket. In my pocket. See the look on your face. I like the way you hold my boat. Let me get my hands on your pain. I can be the Novocaine. Maybe you can keep your tears in my pocket.
I was just like, okay, this is even before we played, I'm picturing it obviously like you said a waterproof pocket. I'm like, I don't
Some
think it's
jackets have
literally
that.
being like like liquid collection inside Japan. That would be a nappy, actually, if I think about it.
Also known as a diaper to our American viewers.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, tears, crying, sadness, et cetera, but you're like being bottled up and putting in your pocket. Because if you're properly holding it, it'd probably be closer to your heart, not just like shoving it in your pocket. And then I think the lyrics came through on that, actually. It's speaking to about like, it's a very common trope, I think, where in a search to find closeness, in a search to find intimacy, seeing someone who is very guarded but has stuff, baggage, and then has moments of vulnerability. It's like, oh, I'm being let in, and that makes you feel close to them, even if they're actually not maybe properly opening up in a healthy way. And I'm like, yeah, that is such a great topic to sing about and then package it up into something. This is probably like, if I just put aside thinking too deeply about the songs, and if I'm just going to play something and just love like having it like bounce around my brain and just vibe it, this has probably been my favorite song so far, especially because of like, I love that I don't know how they did it, like that bass beat, but it was kind of stereo, like went from the left
It's like a
channel
sweep.
to the right, and I'm like, whoa, this is made my brain feel good.
Yeah, this track really did that hyperpop thing where we take all of the production away, and we heard it towards the kind of first third. We take the production away and we reintroduce elements that alone make so much more impact than together, and then we slowly build it back up, like 2 of the 5 elements, and then another 2, and maybe we'll have 3. So like that beat just naked by itself, you hear the stereo pan. When we got that really abrasive synth that just came in, it wasn't in the context of any other kind of melodic layering or anything like that. Just synth, just synth. I liked that. You really get like a rawness.
It's very like if you're in a larger nightclub and then there'll be like 2 floors, the really big floor, and then like the smaller space is probably in the basement. This was definitely playing in the basement, right? It's like, oh no, we need to go down, and then it's just, yeah.
Yeah, not only was this the banger in the basement, but the empaths got together and had a little bit of a group hug as well.
I've gone to therapy, so I know that you're not opening up to me, and that's the reason why I think I feel close to you, but I'm actually not close to you. But I'm still gonna be attracted to you anyway.
But also, like, are you hearing this beat as well?
So, oh, but the beats are pretty. I'm being wrapped in this beat.
All right. Well, while we're wrapped in that beat, we now start to question things as you do when you're wrapped in beats. Track 6. Do you even think about me?
Wish I had a video screen, but we asked that was in our minds, and they hurt us, but God was with time. Do you even think about it at all? Don't know each other anymore, so why am I still trusting all the clothes you wore? Even think about it.
Okay. Do you even think about me, Rebecca? I do. After this, I do. This entire album is in the club. Not only have you entered the gay club with your cred that you've established, you are a seasoned member of this community. You are taking over the playlist, CD in hand, handing it over to the DJ. That's all we're listening to.
It actually made me think, just the composition of this song and the energy and like that beat and the way that like it built and built and built and built, and the way that it dropped, and actually never really had a drop, and it never dropped.
It just moved.
It just moved, and it was just so high octane. I don't know if this is going to be the right reference, but is it like EDM or like Euro?
Oh, you said the right word.
Yeah.
Eurobeat.
I'm like,
is where I'm at with this
is
one.
this Tomorrowland? Am I suddenly in Europe? I mean, Tomorrowland's coming up very soon. Am I magically ported to Europe?
So I don't feel like I'm in Europe. I do feel like this is Eurobeat. I feel like I'm in a modded Japanese car in a PlayStation 2 game, driving on a mountainside. Shout out to Initial D. This is like, I'm on the modded car stereo. I've got the upgraded speakers. We've got the LEDs on the dash. We are turning it up, and usually it would be like an Eastern European vocalist, like with a bit of a twang in the accent in the English lyrics.
Yeah.
But Rebecca's on this one, and I'm glad she is.
Oh, I need lasers.
Oh yeah, we need
I need
lasers.
I need haze and
Subscribe so we can
lasers.
get the lasers, please. We need to be partnered first. Man, this was the one for me. Like, I'm a sucker for Eurobeat. It's my like guilty pleasure. If I need instant workout music, it's
I
Eurobeat.
love that.
And I wasn't expecting a Eurobeat track from
Mm.
Rebecca. And even the subject matter as well. Like, Eurobeat is usually very kind of surface level, like, I'm so into you, but there's this complication kind of thing. And this is very much like a breakup track. We're separate, but I feel myself going back to you. Um, I want to be the villain in your life, but do I really? But I still wear your clothes, type thing that you would maybe hear in like a Eurobeat, like really cheesy song.
Hmm. Is that because well, I don't know much about Eurobeat songs, but because I guess the beat and the music is the main character in those kind of songs, like storyline and theme and lyrics is not so prioritized when they're composing those.
Yeah, usually like a universally appealing "I'm so into you" type of thing is usually what they go for.
Okay.
I have no idea if Rebecca Black had this on the mind when this track was being made, but that's what I got from it.
Yeah.
Man, I really like that one.
God, if you need to pump yourself up or anything, just throw that on.
Job interview? Do you even think about me is going
Don't.
on?
No. You listen to it before the interview to get yourself pumped up, and then you send it to the interviewer afterwards. You link it to them because it's like, do you even think about me?
And then they listen to it and they're like, "Damn your
Oh, yeah.
taste." Well, we've got one track left.
Well, you know what? The title of this track maybe makes sense after this kind of breakup-y song, "Twist the Knife."
All right. Well, let's feel that twist.
Mm.
Okay, organ.
This would be a great one of those like trivia songs. And it's like, what is the title of this track? And people are like, Dancing Till I Die. It's like, no, Twist the Knife. If you're a real Rebecca Black fan, you would know it's actually Twist the Knife, which was the core of the actual chorus. I was initially surprised in a delighted way to be like, what's my water glass? And that's how surprised I was to hear strings when this track opened. I'm like, oh my goodness, we're getting instruments. This is just unexpected.
We had a guitar somewhere in the album.
We did. I
We now
remember
have
you're
a
like, "Is that an
second
acoustic
instrument.
guitar?" Yeah, we had these strings, and like I want to say like 1-2 bars max, and then vocal synths, the whole pop production kicked in. And I'm like, what is this making me feel like? And I'm like, oh, this is giving me very like pop. It's giving me very disco. It's giving me very, we're going back in the decades. And then as the song evolved, the Dancing Till I Die, the biblical references, the way that the pop sound really contrasted against having moments of almost like very strong vocal with like organ type instrumentation. She's channeling Madonna. She's channeling not God, she's channeling the Queen.
The goddess.
Yes, praise be Madonna. Right? Can you see like
I do hear so like the feeling that I got, and I'm not as seasoned of a Madonna listener as you might be, but I do distinctly remember being a kid in the car listening to the radio playing songs from the previous decade and getting that vibe. That's where it took me.
okay. Great.
Less twisting of knives back then.
Mm-hmm.
But that took me there, which is in stark contrast to the very kind of modern, abrasive, kind of hyper poppy stuff that we got elsewhere in the album.
Yeah. And I think this number would be quite timeless because it has those, like when I think of like dance tracks and pop tracks that have stood the test of time, it's it's not just because pop is such a reflection of that particular moment and what is
Yeah.
pop music for that,
Popular.
yeah,
Literally.
at that moment in time. Whereas this incorporates different things there, so I think it will age quite well. Yeah, I just like what a grand song to end the album on. Like production wise, length wise, that would definitely be a concert closer for Rebecca. Like, you know, if she was to do a,
Yeah.
not that I'm a professional set list maker for concerts, but I'm like, I could see that being just going off as like the closing number.
And you
to a
let the
concert.
dancing till I die part like trail out for like a good 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's when like the confetti cannon goes and there'll be glitter everywhere and like 36 dances across the stage. Rebecca deserves to perform this, and I hope she gets the opportunity to. When did this album?
this year.
This year?
This year.
Okay, so it's too soon to have like, you know, I guess performances to have come out yet. But I hope she gets to tour on this. Like this would be, or I hope this like gets into the clubs. I hope it gets airtime on radio. I think the lyrics in here, just like again a lot of other very timeless pop pieces, still have like good imagery coming through there. So you know, the last song was like break up, and now just having a lot of this like exploring these themes like angst and you know that classic image of like the knife twisting in your heart.
I also got a little bit of like femme fatale in this one. Like there was like a
Mm.
cold blood like running through my veins type thing, and there was reference to being a widow, like a bit of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I fell asleep, I woke up, I'm now a widow. What happened?
But overall, I mean, we've just heard
We have just heard.
Salvation by Rebecca Black.
Do you feel saved?
Yeah,
Is this your salvation?
I think I can definitely imagine like that afternoon or that hit workout or that you know where I would call on songs like this, and I think the songs are quite eclectic. I mean, they're all pop, but they're all very different kinds of pop, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like throughout all the different kinds of pop, we got to learn a little bit more about Rebecca. And this feels so genuine. And it feels like a window into the world that we maybe didn't experience, or maybe that she hadn't discovered back when she first entered the limelight. Now we're getting who Rebecca really is and what she wants to put out there, rather than what, you know, a production package that your parents might have paid for gets you in a Friday.
And I think through the lyrics, it's definitely like that setting. It sets me in. I'm like, oh, we're in this space, right? The LGBT themes, like engaging quite directly with like sexual content, like the song Trust with kink and things like going there with the content matter. I think there was also times where we had like symbolism and imagery, and it could be something that sounded really sexy, but actually was maybe singing about something else to do with a relationship, or heartbreak or breakup, as we had there throughout the end. And then I think the sound, that this is the part where I'm most curious to see where Rebecca goes, because the tracks were quite eclectic and there were so many references you could see from like different types of pop. I'm curious to see that with time and when she does more music, what is going to be her musical identity, like, and that's, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Because I do get some exploration here. I do get the sense that she knows what she enjoys, but she's dabbling still.
Mm.
She's exploring a few different sounds, and maybe that's where she stays. Maybe she is the permanent dabbler. Maybe she's got the range to just continue to give us multiple different perspectives and genres and all of that.
Rebecca's team, when you watch this episode of Just Heard, because I know you subscribe.
For sure, no doubt.
Next, maybe in 2 albums' time, because you will need another strong album to commercially perform well and critically perform well, and then you probably have enough like rapport in the scene to then to do a strip back, whatever deep soul searching type project, you know, or maybe it'll be a side project. It'll be like a little EP thing.
It's just called Rebecca.
It's just called Just Rebecca.
This solidifies Rebecca's place in the conversation for me.
Mm.
Rebecca's back in the conversation, and this Friday thing from so many years ago, who cares? We got bangers now.
I really do think that's just something that she will own. This is my prediction. You know, it exists, and I think it got to the point where it was so memeified that it became almost like a lovable cultural moment, and she can really own that and be like, and almost play to it and bring it up as like, you know, if you want to, the best way to control the conversation is to start the conversation. That yeah, there was just so many memeable moments from both the music video and that song. It needs. It could actually be. Look, I'm not a PR person, and again, at risk of turning this into a growing episode, maybe it's a good PR strategy to try and actually get that trending as a sound on social. As again, tongue in cheek, owning that moment. Because that it's Friday, it's catchy. It's an earworm.
What else this is free marketing advice, and we don't we don't have the commercial freedom to be giving this out for free.
You don't need to give disclaimers
Rebecca's
about marketing advice.
Business email
No,
in
take
the
this
bio,
and then give me a job.
or that. All right. Well, this was a fun one. I'm glad to have gone through it.
It was very fun.
Till the next one.
Yep. Bye.